Hello and welcome to English 1. My name is Rebecca Griffith, and in this presentation we are going to cover the English 1 syllabus. In order to be eligible for English 1, students must have successfully completed 8th grade English Language Arts. This is a description of what students will learn in the course. In this course, you will read short stories, novels, autobiographies, nonfiction texts, poems, and plays. The works come from a broad range of time periods and cultures, allowing us to understand how that culture and time period impacts writers and their messages to audiences. We will begin looking critically at literature to find deeper meaning of text and life applications. As you read and analyze the literature, you will become more skilled interpreters of literature and the world in which we live. In addition to reading, you will be writing in the form of a character analysis, a narrative, a literary analysis. You will practice informational writing and an annotated bibliography. You will keep your writings in a growth portfolio that will document your journey of writing improvement throughout your time at Knox Central. When journal entries are assigned, you will also have the opportunity to express yourself informally. Your journals will serve as a record of your growth and development as writers and thinkers during your freshman year. We'll also study grammar and vocabulary development. This timeline shows the order in which materials will be taught based on the number of instructional days and weeks, as well as the types of lessons we will cover. All of these types of lessons will take place continuously throughout the year. Journal entries. Beginning on the first day of school and continuing throughout the year, students will explore their thinking about reading and practice their expression of ideas by writing journal entries and storing them within their Google Drive, or they will submit them as an assignment in Google Classroom. The entries will take various forms throughout the year, including free write, creative writing, informational writing, or argumentative writing. The journal entry assignments will be given on assigned days in Google Classroom. If you miss a day of work, your first step must be checking Google Classroom to find missed assignments. You will be responsible for storing your journal entries within your drive and turning them in when asked through Google Classroom. Also, many of your journal entries will be given to you as an assignment in Google Classroom, in which you open the document, complete the work, and then turn it in. We will complete multi-draft writing. Students will complete several essays and papers during the course of the year as summative assessments, documenting their growth and writing successes. These summative assessments will be assessed through the following writing formats: character analysis, narrative, literary analysis, informational writing, and an annotated bibliography. Papers will be assessed on the basis of strength of assertions, quality of evidence, and sophistication of style. You will receive a rubric by which your assignment will be graded for each summative assessment. The rubric should act as a guide for your writing and as a way to measure what skills you will be displaying. Vocabulary. Students will be expected to learn key vocabulary terms in order to better understand domain language within the content area and in order to be college and career ready. Students will study specific vocabulary terms to better understand literature, as well as vocabulary that is found within literature to be able to better understand the material. Automaticity. Automaticity includes questions that will be given at the beginning of each class that can be answered quickly, ranging from vocabulary terms to grammar. This is similar to bell ringers. It is imperative that students know and be able to apply the language of the content. Knowing the domain-specific content must be achieved quickly and through repetition. Therefore, we will be using automaticity at the beginning of class, coordinating with journal entries to make sure that you consistently know the terms that are associated with the English content and how to properly use grammar when doing your multi-draft writings. Critical readings. Readings for the course include excerpted as well as full-length fiction and nonfiction text. Students are expected to read outside of class and come prepared to discuss the text beyond a superficial level. The student's reading is inherently assessed by all activities of the class. Discussion. Discussions are expected from students ranging from informal to formal as part of your participation in class. Part of the language arts standards require students to be able to participate in discussions at a high level, moving discussion forward while examining difficult or insightful concepts. Discussion has the ability to move students' understanding to higher levels of critical thinking. As we move to a more virtual setting, discussion will still be expected through your ability to communicate and articulate your point of view and understanding of concepts through journal entries, presentations, email, and virtual meetings. Oral presentations. Students will be practicing and refining their oral presentation skills throughout the year. The speaking and listening standards indicate that students should be able to deliver clear and concise messages to audiences in a logical fashion while changing one's voice, diction, and speech to meet the needs of the activity and the audience. You will be practicing speaking in standard English, as well as modifying your speech to meet the needs of the activity and the audience. As we move to a more virtual setting, your participation in presentations will be expected through the use of Google applications and tools such as Screencastify. Research. Students will complete shorter research assignments that will culminate in discussion and presentation. The students will be assessed on their ability to effectively apply the research to developing situations surrounding the text and on correct documentation. At the end of the course, students will be required to perform research and use appropriate MLA documentation in order to present findings in an annotated bibliography. Here's a list of our curriculum units. Some of these may be subject to change as we incorporate different types of literature. You will do a personal narrative. We will read The Most Dangerous Game and The Scarlet Abyss. We will read To Kill a Mockingbird, The Odyssey. We will complete a research unit, and we will read Romeo and Juliet. Personal narrative should take about 4 weeks. The Most Dangerous Game and The Scarlet Abyss should take about 4 weeks. To Kill a Mockingbird should take 8 weeks. The Odyssey, 8 weeks. Our research unit should take about 6 weeks, and Romeo and Juliet should take 6 weeks. The required resources for this year. You will be required to use your assigned Chromebook this year to complete your work for all content areas through Google Classroom. Your assigned Chromebook is the only resource you need, and using the Google extensions within your Drive and Classroom. If you feel as if you need to have a notebook, index cards, pens and pencils, and your typical types of school supplies, please get those to help you continue to learn, but everything you submit will be through Google extensions and be used on your Chromebook. Here's a list of some of the Google extensions, apps, and websites you will use: Google Classroom, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Forms, and Google Meets. And remember, everything is stored within Google Drive. You will also use No Red Ink, Quizlet, Common Lit, Newsela, and then additional apps and websites. You will use Kami, Grammarly, Screencastify, and flashcards. If one of these is unfamiliar to you, I will provide a video showing you how to use them correctly. Our planned testing points throughout the year. Formative assessments will take place throughout the year in order to prepare students for summative tests and the end of the year test. Summative assessments will take place at the culmination of the cycles of units, and vocabulary summative assessments will take place throughout the curriculum. Here is a table of our grading system. The progress of students in grades K through 12 shall be evaluated by using the following. To receive an A, which is excellent, you will have achieved 100 to 90%. A B is 89 to 80%. C is 79 to 70%. D is 69 to 60%. An F is 59 or below. Students will submit homework on the due date that is given in Google Classroom, and classwork will be turned in online through Google Classroom. Directly within the assignment posted online, unless instructed otherwise, when given due date, students are expected to submit work on the given date. Learning at home and learning at school late work policy. Late work will only be accepted up to 1 week past the due date unless extenuating circumstances have been brought to my attention. If an extenuating circumstance happens, which could be due to sickness, an emergency, technical issues, or something that's going on in your personal life, just send me an email. The due date for each assignment will be given in Google Classroom. Each day the assignment is late, 10% will be deducted from the grade. The instructor will announce the due date for each assignment with adequate time to complete the assignment. It is solely the student's responsibility to read all course announcements and complete all assignments on time. If makeup work from an absence is approved by the instructor, then a revised due date will be provided. Please reach out if you know that you will be late completing work. All excuses should be turned in through the proper procedures listed in your student handbook. But if you can notify me of the circumstances, I would greatly appreciate it. If you think that you need more time on an assignment due to an emergency or circumstances beyond your control, notify me of the situation through email and we will agree upon a grace period. Your high school grade report. Grade report shall be issued every 9 weeks. Interim report shall be made to parents during the 5th week of each grading period. A comprehensive test may be given at the end of each grading period and each semester. The semester test schedule shall be announced in advance, and all classes are counted in the ranking of students at the end of the semester. Here are remote learning expectations. We want to be safe, respectful, and responsible. To be safe, you need to choose a distraction-free workspace. Use equipment as intended. Use approved means of communication. Keep login, passwords, and private information private. To be respectful, stay on appropriate sites. Use appropriate language. Think before posting or emailing. Try your best to complete your own work. To be responsible, complete assignments on time. Respond to teacher in a timely manner. Communicate if you need help. Be present, so you need to avoid multitasking and pay attention to what needs to be focused on in the moment. Use Chromebook appropriately. Attend meetings, calls as assigned by the teacher. Learning at school expectations. To be safe, you need to follow teacher directions and use social distancing procedures. Mask up when moving around, social distancing less than 6 feet apart. Use the equipment as intended. Use approved means of communication. Keep login, passwords, and private information private. To be respectful, stay on appropriate sites. Use appropriate language. Try your best to complete your own work. Listen to audio through headphones or earbuds. To be responsible, complete assignments on time. Communicate if you need help. Be present. Use Chromebook appropriately. Be on time and ready to learn, and have materials ready and come to class with Chromebook charged. This is the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know and keep open communication with me. That way, if a problem arises, we can solve it.